A cute family is revealed to us in starting of the movie. Tim, the son of a couple, was also in it. They had a contented life. Tim was a sweet young man. He appreciates how much his parents adore him. He didn't want to share his parents' love with anyone. He has his own made-up universe. In it he creates cartoons and plays with various characters. He was a content child, and now the scene is in the sky. In essence, inside of heaven. Babies were making with the following process. They were covered in a powder and they were dressed. All newborns were innocent, but some of the infants had intelligence in them. Really intelligent. Their minds are more like those of young children than babies. They are adept at managing affairs. These infants were divided into various categories. They are dressed in a black three-piece suit, like it belonged to a boss or a laborer. They've also sported wristwatches. Also, a briefcase was given to them. These infants have been organized into a group that will oversee the tasks of the other infants. Isn't it interesting that they will also visit the office? We'll now get to the movie's major plot. We can tell that Tim's younger brother will appear in a few days. It made his parents pleased, and Tim was standing in front of his home at the time. He notices that his younger brother exits a taxi. He is strolling like an elderly man while donning a three-piece suit. He enters and discovers his parents holding his young sibling in their laps, thinking of him as a child. He'll reside here with us. How adorable is he? His parents said. Yet in all honesty, Tim didn't find him to be cute. So when the baby arrived, he left everyone in his wake. The entire house was filled with his voice. Instead of Tim, Mom and Dad were focusing on the infant. Tim had depression and felt sorrow over it. His parents no longer share the stories with him. He arrives angry over his brother and has to sleep alone. He disregards him though. Tim one day hears the voice of the phone ringing while everyone else is sleeping. Tim wanders over to where his brother is on the phone. His age group of children speak improperly, but see how his brother spoke. Tim believes he is not a typical infant. He is also decked out in boss baby attire. Tim approaches him and inquires, "Who are you? Where did you come from?" "At my home. You've replaced me." "Child, you will not understand it," the boss baby declares. "I'm here on an unidentified mission. Grab some cash, then refrain from speaking." Tim receives some money from the boss baby. Tim's surprise grows. Where did he come from, and what mission is he referring to? He immediately approaches that boss baby. He claims that I will inform our parents of the truth. You are not an ordinary infant. Yes, the boss baby says. They are aware that you find me annoying. They won't take you seriously. They'll assume that you're speaking while feeling envious of me. They will love you no matter what you do. Tim grows enraged and accuses him of being evil. I'll reveal this secret to everyone one day. Nonetheless, the boss baby was correct when he asked his parents how they could believe Tim. Tim will need to assemble some proof for all of this. At the home of the boss baby, he conceals a microphone, also produces spy glasses. He now observes that the boss baby called other babies to a conference that he hosted. Everyone assumed that the infants were interacting and playing. However, how would they be aware that this story is false? Now that his brother is attempting to record his voice, boss baby also learns of this. He relocates himself. In order to prevent my brother from hearing anything, he asks other infants to make noise. The infants were acting similarly. Tim's hearing was impaired. Boss baby gets the meeting started, during which he was speaking to other infants via a projector slide. These dogs are puppies, as you can see. They have replaced us. They are loved more by humans than by us. People ought to cherish infants, thus we must put a stop to this. Any dog or puppy at home was taken by that parent. Babies should be given time. We need to stop the puppy company. According to the boss baby, Tim used a radio recorder to capture all of this. Tim smiles as his recording is finished. He was about to demonstrate to his folks, yet every infant stops him. They all arrive at the ground while running. The babies were behind Tim, who was in front holding the tape. Tim's parents welcomed them with joy. Our children are playing together, which is a blessing. The boss baby was about to collapse while chasing Tim, but that tap broke before he fell. Tim no longer has any evidence to use against the boss baby, so to speak. Tim's parents arrive in the interim and pick up the infant. They reprimand Tim for it. Do you not notice how little your tiny brother is? He is not important to you. You and he are at odds. You won't go play outside. Here, the boss child assumes innocence. Tim now prefers to remain in his room. He believes he is incarcerated in a jail, and he only passes his days there. He feels solitary. He converses with a toy in his fantasies. The boss baby arrives there in the interim. He moves around in his room while seated on Tim's train. I am feeling horrible for you, he says to Tim, so try not to make fun of me. It won't take place. Tim claims that I don't grasp who you are. Do you want to comprehend what the boss's baby said? Come with me and I'll take you to my origin. They vanish into thin air. They are now there. They don't want to be seen together by anyone. If not, boss baby will receive a warning. He is informed that this is how this place is run by the boss baby. These young children are not only intelligent but also cunning. What is your role in them? According to Tim, a According to the boss baby, I was sent into the world to inform. Why do people love dogs more than babies? What makes dogs unique? I'll receive the promotion if I take the place of the dogs. I will receive a sizable private office. He leads him to a photo exhibition. Pictures of the other infants were available. He is informed by the boss baby that they too receive promotions. Since their missions have been finished, they also received a private office. There was another image of a baby boss. The boss baby asserts that she is in charge of all other babies. I've been given the assignment by her. Keep your mouth shut, he warns, or my job can get fired. Tim queries what will transpire if you are fired. What are you saying? The boss baby says that to be terminated is to develop into a typical child. I'm not crazy for allowing this to occur. Consider, Tim, that I will live as your brother if I develop into a normal baby. Your parents will love me if I stay with you at all hours of the day or night. Would you like this? I don't want you to develop into a typical infant, Tim asserts. Do your mission, then depart. Because the boss baby said so, you must assist me. Tim says it's okay, I'm prepared. Tim is told by the boss baby that you are aware of this. Our parents are employed by the business that provides puppy deliveries. Babies are welcome at the firm where we must accompany them. There won't be any issues. Tim asserts that you are aware that I am not permitted to leave the house. This, according to the boss baby, is not a concern. You're not welcome because you make fun of me. You and I are still at odds. We must demonstrate to our parents our affection for one another. They follow the strategy and act in the same way. Tim looks after his brother, sometimes known as the boss baby. When their parents become aware of this, he continues to tell them stories. Tim is very concerned for his brother. He can now leave the house, his parents said. The time had come for them to report to their parents' business. In reality, they need to steal a file from there pertaining to their new goal. They already know about what kind of puppy they will going to produce. As they undergo modifications, the boss baby will halt it before it happens. They enter the room where the file was hidden. To catch them, the file was left there. That perfect boss baby, who was the ideal of the baby boss, was the proprietor of that establishment. The boss infant want to be just like him. He is now older. The boss baby is startled when he sees him. You are here, he asks. But how? Thus, the business's owner claims that I was a baby like you. These infants actually consume miraculous milk. They continue to be babies as a result and continue to work for the baby firm. When I couldn't finish my mission, ideal baby boss informs them that. So by stealing the miraculous milk from me, I got fired from the job. I also had a dream about my private workspace. But this dream was dashed, and I grew older as a result of not receiving the magic milk. You were summoned here, so I may steal your miraculous milk. And speaking of puppies, it was a trap as well, to eat up your infant company. After being insulted, I was fired from that job. I turned this business against them. See how prosperous I am right now. What could be more embarrassing for you than the fact that your parents work for me? The owner then goes on to say that I will visit the baby company. Moreover, I'll kill your parents. Tim asserts that you won't murder my parents. The boss baby wondered if the business would let him go. His upward mobility will end. They make the decision to save their parents. Also, this business, so that boss baby can continue from there. From there, they go. But the owner dispatched his brother to keep an eye on them, with a female dressed as a babysitter. Nonetheless, they do make him fake vomit. They trick him, and then they leave with the assistance of the other infants. But now that their parents were on their way there, it was getting late. They were sent there because the business's owner wanted to kill them. Currently, Tim and his brother are attempting a bicycle trip to the airport. That pretend babysitter was being controlled by other babies. They were about to phone their parents as they arrived at the airport. When the business owner notices them, he forces their parents onto the plane. Tim experiences emotion and sadness. When dealing with his sibling, he gets hostile. He claims that you are to blame for everything since you were invited into our lives to ruin us. My parents would still be alive today if you hadn't come. They have been kidnapped with the business owner, who will kill them. How do I protect them? He is upset with him. Boss baby eventually coerces him into agreeing. He promises that our group will travel there and save our parents. They exit the aircraft and sneakily enters the aircraft. We are allegedly the captain's offspring. Finally, they reach the location where the puppy company event took place. There will be a puppy launch there today. It was a sweet white puppy, as shown by the business's owner. As the public approach the puppy, they leave their infants behind. That business owner wants this. After all, Tim and his brother are seen by Tim's parents during this time. Tim is aware that he will shortly murder his parents. When they get there, a rocket will be launched. Puppies were many. They believe that we can save our parents with the aid of these puppies. Because his parents were present in a box with a heart on it. The owner of the business had locked them. Tim opens the rocket's door right away. Every puppy emerges. That box had the puppies on top of it, and the business owner slipped in the milk's magic. He has now grown into a baby. He is raised by his brother. Boss Baby's mission was now finished. He has stopped the puppy-filled rocket from taking off. He was joyful as a result. I'm going back now, he tells Tim. I'll also be given the promotion. Tim shared in the joy because his sibling is leaving and that he will now receive all the love. They were all depressed before leaving. Boss Baby bids them farewell. From there, he departs with his brother and buddies. Several little robots will arrive after he goes. They begin wiping out his parents' memories that no baby was brought to their residence. They remove all of his belongings, even his toys. Tim feels saddened by this. He feels alone for the first time here. We can see that Boss Baby was content on the other side since he received a promotion. The private office, too, he rejoices about it, but he was depressed because he was missing Tim and his folks. Tim experienced the same thing. His parents were undoubtedly proud of him as previously. He can feel his brother's absence, though. He is very aware of his absence. Brother, come back. We will live together, he writes in a letter to the man. We'll develop together. Boss Baby becomes upset after reading this letter because no one was available to play with him when he got promoted. He constantly has things to do, which makes his life monotonous. He therefore prefers to be Tim's brother. Afterwards, we observe that he follows the path taken by typical newborns. Eventually arrives at Tim's home. Tim leaves right away. As he notices that his brother has come back, he feels joyful. Tim has aged, as can be seen in the film's final scene. He was explaining the plot of the movie we just watched to his daughter. In the meantime, a man arrives there dressed in a three-piece suit. Tim introduces him as the uncle to his daughter. She was the first child born there, followed by another. She was not normal, but Boss Baby, you have no idea what she'll do. This is where the film finishes.
For more videos, please subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon to get notification.